Hi my dear students, welcome back to new session. In the last class you already learned regarding the main features, silent features of double helix structure of the DNA, and also chart of rules and regulations you also discussed. And today topic is regarding central dogma and a package of DNA. Okay, the topic is regarding central dogma. Central dogma, which is proposed by Crick in the 1958. So according to the Crick, he says that is explain the flow of genetic information. He said that the flow of genetic information is always unidirectional only. Like he said, the DNA have the capacity to produce the mRNA during the protein synthesis. It means DNA to mRNA form. Based on mRNA containing information, all amino acids are come together to form of one long polypeptide chain. It is become as protein, and protein is act as an enzyme and involving in some biochemical reactions. So here the flow of genetic information is DNA to mRNA, mRNA to protein. So this is actually the direction. A unidirectional flow of genetic information is proposed by Crick. It is called as central dogma. But later he is noticed that here functions of DNA is recognized. Functions of DNA is mainly two types. One is autocatalysis function, one is heterocatalysis function. Here first explanation is DNA to mRNA, that is an example for what? Heterocatalysis, one of the function of DNA during the only protein synthesis. And next, how the DNA molecules are formed? The DNA molecules are formed from only DNA. It means DNA dependent DNA synthesis. So that is called as what? DNA replication. So again he has changed the concept of central dogma. Here DNA to DNA, it means DNA replication. And again the flow is DNA to mRNA, mRNA to protein, like he is explained. Let's write the notes. Central dogma. Central dogma concept is explained by Crick. Crick in 1958, at the time he is explained. According to the Crick, he says that he is explain the flow of genetic information. Flow of genetic information. The flow of genetic information is always only unidirectional. He says that the flow of genetic information is always unidirection, always unidirection. And is given a proposed one diagram also. That one is here. This is a DNA, double stranded DNA, which is going to produce RNA mRNA, messenger RNA. So this messenger RNA, it is going to code for proteins. So based on mRNA containing information, all amino acids are come together to form of long polypeptide chain. Polypeptide chain is formed. Right? Now this polypeptide chain is going to become as protein, and some of the proteins are act as enzymes, and which are some of the proteins are involved in construction of the cell, and some are also act as carrier. So this is actually central dogma. But later the scientists have discovered the function of DNA. Functions of DNA. DNA functions are mainly two types. One is autocatalysis and second one is heterocatalysis. autocatalysis and heterocatalysis. But at the time of in 1958, he is not noticed this autocatalysis function. So this central dogma is based on heterocatalysis. In this case, what happened here? RNA synthesis is depend upon DNA. So it is called as DNA dependent RNA synthesis. It is called as RNA dependent DNA dependent RNA synthesis, right? And during the protein synthesis, okay. And in this case, what autocatalysis? What happened here? DNA dependent DNA synthesis. DNA dependent DNA synthesis. It means one DNA daughter molecules are always coming from one mother DNA to DNA formation. So it is called as what? It is called as DNA replication. It is called as what? DNA replication. Later, recognition of DNA functions, the central dogma is changed. He has changed the central dogma. Like DNA to DNA. DNA to DNA. It means it is replication. Okay. Next, DNA to mRNA. So this is A. A is replication, B is transcription. We will discuss later what is transcription in further classes. Next, mRNA to protein. So such is translation. Okay. So this is actually modified central dogma. So now it is correct. The flow of genetic information, like, okay. And some exceptions are there. Exception of central dogma. Exception of central dogma, which is proposed by Temin. So it is called as Teminism. It is called as Teminism, which is proposed by Temin and Baltimore. Temin and Baltimore. Okay. Exception in especially RNA containing genetic information containing viruses. Example, retrovirus. Example is what? Retrovirus. In this case, genetic information is what? Not DNA. Genetic information is RNA. Genetic information is RNA. Okay. So in this case, what happened? DNA is formed from RNA. Okay. So then what happened? Again, central dogma is changed. According to the central dogma, DNA to what? Either mRNA or DNA to DNA is formed. But in this case, what happened? In retrovirus, exception is there. It means RNA to what happened? DNA is formed. RNA to DNA. Such we can call as complementary DNA. Complementary DNA is formed. Okay. So this is an exception case of central dogma in only RNA genetic information containing viruses, right? So such process is called as a reverse transcription. A reverse transcription. Reverse transcription. Okay. DNA to mRNA formation is called as what? transcription. If RNA to DNA is formed, that is called as what? A reverse transcription is the best example for in retroviruses. Okay. So this is actually complete information regarding central dogma and reverse transcription. Next interesting topic is packaging of DNA. Packaging of DNA helix in eukaryotic cells as well as prokaryotic cells. And you learned some information regarding DNA measurements in the previous classes. The distance in between two successful nitrogen base pairs is 0.34 nanometers or 3.4 angstroms. That is the distance between two successful nucleotides. So based on this, we can measure the entire length of the DNA in one organism. The length of the DNA is measured by the distance between two base pairs into the total number of base pairs which is present in the organism. Then we can get the complete length of the DNA of one organism. Okay, let's write the points here. Topic is packaging of DNA. Packaging of DNA helix. Right? The distance in between two nucleotides is distance in between two nucleotides is 0.34 nanometers or 3.4 angstroms. Right? We already discussed in the last class. Here the length of DNA is measured by distance between two nucleotides into total number of nucleotides or base pairs in such organisms. For example, in human somatic cell, which in condition? Diploid condition. What the number of nitrogen base pairs are present in the human? 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs are present. Here the distance between two nucleotides is 0.34 nanometers into the total number is 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs. So here we have nanometers here, just we have to convert into the meter. For that, just multiply with the 10 to the power of 9 meters for base pairs. So the calculations is at the last it going to give 2.2 meters. The total length of the human DNA or mammalian, the length of mammalian cell, somatic cell, the length of mammalian cell of DNA is approximately 2.2 meters. 2.2 meters. Then the question comes in the mind. Sir, 2.2 meters of DNA, how it is going to settle in a one small nucleus? The 2.2 meters of DNA, how it is going to settle? How it is going to arrange in very small size of, very small diameter of nucleus, right? Next, for example, in case of E. coli, same. E. coli, the total number of base pairs is, the distance is same, 0.34 nanometers into base pairs are 4.6 into 10 to the power of 6 into 10 to the power of 9. It is approximately 1.3 millimeters of DNA. Again the same question. Sir, how it is possible to settle or arrangement of this long DNA in within the one small cell, right? So for that you have to know, you have to understanding the packaging of DNA helix in eukaryotic cells as well as prokaryotic cells. So let's start with the understanding of package of helix of DNA in prokaryotic cell first. And you know that in prokaryotic cells, well-defined nucleus is absent. So DNA is present in where? Cytoplasm. So it doesn't mean that the cytoplasm, it doesn't mean that the DNA is completely scattered throughout the cytoplasm, right? The DNA is not scattered throughout the cytoplasm, and also it is not in straight, it is folded, like coiling structures are occurred. So this DNA is attached to some types of proteins which is called as non-histogen proteins to form one folded structure, such is called as nucleoid or genophore. So at the last, what I am telling that in this packaging of prokaryotic cell, the point is what here? DNA is not in straight line, it is folded. Like for example, like it is going to folded rounding and round. So to become one complex structure. So such is called as what? Nucleoid or genophore. Let's write the point. Packaging in prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cell. And we know that there is no well-defined nucleus in prokaryotic cell. And it doesn't mean that DNA is scattered throughout the cytoplasm. Okay, so in this case what happened in prokaryotic cell, DNA is attached to one special type of proteins, such are non-histogen proteins, right? So which already carry the positive charge, this NHC, non-histogen proteins which carry the already positive charge, right? On this DNA is which charge? DNA is already what? Negative charge. So this negative charge DNA is attached to positive charge non-histone protein, right? So here what we are understanding here, the DNA is folded and not scattered throughout the cytoplasm. It is occurred in a particular location of the cytoplasm of the bacteria. So such is called as nucleoid or genophore. Okay, so this is regarding packing of DNA in prokaryotic cell. Next, packaging of DNA in eukaryotic cell. Packaging of double helix DNA in eukaryotic cell. Okay, and we know that the genetic information in eukaryotic cell which is present in the nucleus, the total length of the DNA also we know that 2.2 meters of DNA. Here the task is how it is present within the small diameter of the nucleus. So further, one scientist, Kornberg is a scientist, he has proposed that nucleosome solenoid model. What are the points? Here the DNA which is present in nucleus, and the total length of the DNA is 2.2 meters of DNA, right? To explain this packaging of DNA, nucleosome solenoid model, which is proposed by Kornberg. He was first proposed the nucleosome model. So if we compare with prokaryotic cell, the package of DNA helix in eukaryotic cell is very complex. Why? Because the eukaryotic DNA it have limited space, that is what, nucleus, right? If you compare with a prokaryotic cell, a eukaryotic package is complex. Eukaryotic DNA arrangement is complex because it has limited space. So this complete amount of 2.2 meters of DNA it has to arrange in within the nucleus. So that's why it is very complex, right? Let's see how the package occurred in within the cell. The first in cell generally positive molecules are present. That positive molecules is known as histogen molecules. Histogen molecules are acquired a positive charge by having of amino acids. So here number of amino acids are occurred, but especially two amino acids are give the positive charge to the histone molecule, such as arginine as well as lysine. Okay, write the point. In cell, histone proteins are occurred. Histone proteins are acquired positive charge due to the presence of number of base amino acids. Okay, so in that, especially the more number of amino acids are one is arginine, second one is lysine. Okay, so these two amino acids are carry positive charge. These are positive charge amino acids. So which is given a positive charge to histone molecules, right? Next, here these histone molecules which are carry the positive charge, and negative molecule is what? DNA, which is give the negative charge to the DNA, PO4 minus as well as OH minus groups, which is give the negative charge to the DNA. Now what happened? Now this negative charged DNA, it is going to wrapping or coiling on positive charged histone molecules. Okay, right? DNA is negative charged molecules, which is give the negative charge to the DNA, that are PO4 minus and as well as OH minus groups, which are give the negative charge to the DNA. Now, so this statement is very important. Negative charge DNA molecule is wrapping on positive charge of histone protein or histone molecule. Now this structure, this special structure, now we can call as what? It is called as nucleosome. Now this structure is called as nucleosome, right? So in this stage, if you observe in under the electron microscope, so these structures are look like as a beads on string. If you observe under electron microscope, so these structures are look like as beads on string. Beads on string. It is a character of what? Eukaryotic packing of DNA helix, right? Which is noticed in within the nucleus. So this is first observed by Kortenberg, right? So this is actually nucleosome. 2 more questions. Next. After that, here regarding some information, histone. Histone generally it is a protein. Just recall the knowledge of DNA in eukaryotic cell. It is made up of histone proteins. We discussed where the difference between eukaryotic DNA to prokaryotic DNA. The prokaryotic DNA is not made up of histone proteins. Eukaryotic DNA is made up of histone proteins. Right? Right. Histone proteins are generally here. 8 histone proteins are come together to form of one aptamer. Here histone proteins are generally only 4. H1A, H2B, H3 and H4. These 4 are in pair to become as one histone aptamer. Beside this, one more histone proteins are present which is not involving the aptamer, which is present outer side of the nucleosome or outer side of the aptamer. That is H1 histone. Right? Right the point? Histone here, these are base or basic proteins which are, we know that already carry positive charge, right? Generally in eukaryotic cell, not in prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell, histone proteins are H1A, H2B, H3 and H4. So these 4 are in pair, and become as 8 histones, right? So such is called as what? Such is called as what? Histone aptamer. Histone aptamer, right? Next, one more single histone present, such one is H1. Single histone protein is H1 protein. Okay, right? Next. Now this, on this aptamer, the negative charged DNA is going to overlapping, right? Let's see, for example, here one small diagram. This is histone aptamer, 1, 2, pair, 1, 2, 3, like 4. 8 histone aptamer is formed. On this DNA here, like wrapping. Got the point? So this is double helix DNA, small diagram. Okay. So here this is what histone aptamer, right? Here one more histone protein is present. This one is H1 histone protein, right? And next, here the DNAs are, we can divide into 2 types here. So focus on the diagram. Some part of the DNA is wrapping on histone aptamer, some part of the DNA is not wrapping on histone aptamer. So this is DNA, right? So based on that, we divide into DNA, we can divide into 2 types. One is core DNA and one is a linker DNA. One is what? Core DNA, one is what? Linker DNA. Simple here, core DNA which is wrapping on, which is wrapped on histone atomer, right? So this part of the DNA from here till here, this part is what? Core DNA. Next one is what? Linker DNA, which is not wrapped on histone atomer, which is freely present. So this ends, and this ends we can call as linker DNA. Linker means what? Nothing but link in between one nucleosome to another nucleosome, right? So which is not wrapping on histone atomer, and which is useful to link the one atomer to another atomer, or nothing but it is going to link in between. It is a link in between two nucleosomes. The nucleosome or this one atomer, it is approximately consists of 200 nitrogen base pairs. 200 nitrogen base pairs means what? 400 nucleotides are present, right? The nucleosome, nothing but histone atomer, linker DNA as well as core DNA. This is a linker DNA, this is a core DNA, which are all together they consist nearly 200 nitrogen base pairs are present. Altogether nearly 200 nitrogen base pairs are present. 200 nitrogen base pairs means what? 400 nucleotides. Okay, and my dear student, here the number, the 200 nitrogen base pairs number, which is changed in different spaces. Okay, next, out of 200, maximum number of nitrogen base pairs which are occurred on core DNA, and linker DNA is containing less amount of nitrogen base pairs. Okay, the number is nearly 146 base pairs are present on which core DNA. Okay, and next point, and less number. If you compare with the linker DNA, if you compare with the core DNA, linker DNA containing less number of nitrogen base pairs, such are 54 base pairs. On which DNA? Linker DNA. Okay, but here this the number is going to differ in different spaces. Now this beads on string or nucleosome containing chromatid information is packed to form of chromatin fibrae. So this chromatin fibrae is again coiled and packed to become as chromosome. So such structure we can notice during the cell cycle of metaphase phase. In which phase of metaphase? Metaphase. We can notice the rod shaped structure, chromosomes we can notice it. Okay, write it. The beads on string like structure which containing chromatin information is packed to form chromatin fibrae. One time packing is occurred, and second time packing. So this chromatin fibrae is again coiled or folded folded to become as chromosome. Chromosome. So this structure we can notice during the cell cycle. During cell cycle, these structures we can notice. Which phase of the cell cycle? Cell cycle like a mitosis, exactly on metaphase. Metaphase, a rod-shaped structure. A rod-shaped structure we can notice. Such color body. Chromo means what? Color. Soma means body. Such color body we can notice, that is called as what? Chromosome. Right? So now we discuss regarding nucleosome. Finished. Nucleosome solenoid model. So here for the additional package of this eukaryotic DNA, they needed an HSC protein. Non-histone chromatin proteins are needed. It means it is again one time is going to pack it and look like telephone wire is there na, like it going to see. So in such case it is called as what? Solenoid model. Nucleosome solenoid model. Okay, write it. For additional packaging in eukaryotic cell of DNA, it needed NHC proteins. At the first time packing is histone, second time packing is non-histone chromatin. Non-histone chromatin substance, which is example is scaffold proteins, right, as well as polycomb. So these are proteins, the DNA is attached to these proteins and again going to coiled. Okay, next time. And now again nucleosome is again going to wrap itself to become as solenoid model. Later nucleosomes coiled itself. It is called as supercoiling. Okay. Now this structure is called as, at the last, now we are going to call as, it is nucleosome solenoid model. Nucleosome solenoid model, which is proposed by Kornberg. Okay. So now, so the conclusion is what? The conclusion is very simple. If it is a 2.2 meters of thread, so for example it is one small stick. This 2.2 meters of thread we can coil and over again, second time, third time, fourth time, then coiling. So we can set this 2.2 meters of thread on this small space, right? So if the DNA is, if the thread is like horizontally or vertically, or if it is not overlapping or not wrapping, so there is no possible to arrange the 2 meters of DNA in within the nucleus, right? So this is a conclusion of package of DNA in eukaryotic cell, right? And next, so if you stain this nucleosome solenoid model, we can observe two bodies, such are euchromatin and next one is heterochromatin. If we stain this nucleosome solenoid model, we can notice two types of structures we notice, that is euchromatin and second one is a heterochromatin. Euchromatin means here, U means true. The genes are active in condition which are involved in the transcription reaction. So these genes receive less color, so that's why they form light color bands are formed. So such a light colored loosely arranged chromatin molecules we can call as what? Euchromatin. Next, heterochromatin. Heterochromatin genes are tightly packed, So they are inactive in condition, they are not explicit character, they are not involved in the transcription, and therefore they receive the more amount of color. So to form dark bodies are formed. So such is heterochromatin. Very important for 2 mark question or 3 mark question. Write it. Euchromatin, it is active in condition. So the genes are such euchromatin containing genes are express its character, and it is involving in transcription. Right? Now if you add the colors here, these are light color bands are formed, and these genes are loosely arranged. Got it? So such is called as what? Such material is a euchromatin material. And next one is heterochromatin material. So these genes are inactive in condition, and they not express or they not involve in transcription. What is transcription? We will discuss during the protein synthesis in the further classes. Okay. Next, so these are tightly arranged. So during staining process, if you adding of color, it is receive more color and become dark color bands are formed. Okay, so that is called as what? Heterochromatin, right? So next some question is given, one question is given in the NCERT. What is the total number of nucleosomes in mammalian cell? Here the total number of nucleosomes in out of 2.2 meters of DNA, here 1 and 3/4 of nucleosomes are present. Nucleosomes. Okay, right. It means approximately the number of nucleosomes is 30 millions of nucleosomes are present in one mammalian cell. Okay, so this is actually regarding euchromatin, heterochromatin and package of DNA in eukaryotic cells as well as prokaryotic cells. Okay, thank you all of you.